You are standing at the final doorway of the first half of 2025, and you might not even realize it yet. Some shifts don't arrive with drama, but through an undercurrent that moves quietly, subtle, uncertain, and hard to name. The 3 dates, May 22nd, 2030, and 24th, might seem like just ordinary days, but in truth, they are 3 energy checkpoints, carefully arranged by the cosmos. Right after that, from May 25th to 31st, the universe enters a powerful transformation phase where every movement tied to your finances, career, and emotional path begins to shift direction. For Sagittarius, or for those with a Sagittarius rising, moon, or Jupiter in a fire sign, you may already be sensing this, not with logic, but through a quiet restlessness that has no clear cause. You feel as if you're about to do something big, but you can't quite put your finger on what it is. Maybe you've been dreaming strange dreams, making half decisions, or encountering opportunities that seem to come close, but never quite close enough to grasp. That isn't your fault. It's because your personal energy field hasn't yet aligned with the current rhythm of the sky. From May 22nd to 24th, energy gates begin to open, and color becomes your first key. Not color as superstition, but as specific frequencies, helping you recalibrate your personal vibration to match the wave of expansion that June is about to bring. If you're truly serious about shifting your financial flow, breaking through in your career, or returning to the deeper core of who you are, then this is a moment you cannot afford to overlook. Start with the first color, and let it be a signal to the universe that you are ready to align. May 22nd marks the moment when the fire within you is intentionally reignited. The sun has just entered Gemini, and almost instantly you feel the urge to move, to begin something new. But what matters isn't where you're going, it's why you're starting. What is it that makes it impossible for you to stay still during these days? It's because you're being pulled back toward your true direction, but in a different way this time. Crimson red, deep red, blood red, the red of your roots, is not a color for the hurried. It is the color of ignition, not to burn things down, but to mark an action that begins from inner clarity. This is the frequency of someone who has returned after a long journey, and this time no longer doubts themselves. If you choose to wear crimson red today, don't wear it just because it looks good. Let it be a declaration: I know what. Astrologically, Jupiter, your ruling planet, is gradually forming a harmonious aspect with the moon in Leo, awakening your expressive power and your need to live in alignment with your authentic voice. This is no longer about being validated by others. It's about taking action because it's true for you. When you wear this color, it may not trigger instant miracles, but the universe will recognize your signal in the energy map. It will know you've returned, not to run, but to finally do what must be done. Today, don't rush. You don't have to do it all. Let a quiet pause in your mind be marked by this red. It's the silent signal you send out, as if to say, I have risen. I don't need to try harder, I just need to do the right thing at the right time. And right now, you are exactly on time. May 23rd is the moment you shift into a new state of being. Not one of burning through everything to push forward, but one of learning to let your fire burn slow, steady, wise, and sustainable. Burnt orange, not flashy but deeply grounded, is the color of a flame that has been tested, that has moved beyond urgency and stepped into a quiet phase of transformation. It is the color of discernment, of matured inner strength, of decisions no longer made from fleeting emotions, but from a deeper sense of self-responsibility. Astrologically, the moon begins to move into Virgo, pulling your awareness back to details, the small, seemingly insignificant choices that quietly build a stable reality. At the same time, Jupiter and Saturn begin to interact through a subtle rhythm, reminding you that discipline doesn't kill freedom. It's the foundation that allows real freedom to thrive. Today you will be tested, your patience, your boundaries, your response when others challenge your perspective, and burnt orange is the energy that holds you at your center, instead of letting you get swept up in the whirlwind around you. If May 22nd was your declaration, I've returned, then May 22nd is the quiet reminder, I don't have to do everything to prove it. Burnt orange doesn't ask you to act, it asks you to observe yourself in the middle of your own movement. It teaches you a truth not everyone is ready to hear. Some forms of power only appear when you dare to do nothing. Because stillness, when chosen intentionally, is a power move. Today, choose something in burnt orange. It doesn't have to be bold, but it should be something you can feel against your skin, something that warms you from the inside out. And in a moment today, when you're about to react out of anger, urgency, or the pressure to act fast, pause. Touch that color and gently remind yourself, progress isn't always about moving forward. Sometimes, holding still is the wisest move, and that is the lesson you're being asked to learn, right here, right now. May 24th is a strange kind of day. It doesn't shout for your attention, nor does it arrive with any obvious disruption, but if you are quiet enough, you'll sense that something is shifting, deeply. As if the air has grown heavier, your heartbeat has slowed, and your intuition is beginning to speak a language your logic can no longer translate. This is no longer a day for doing more. This is the day to close the energy circuit that began opening on May 22nd. You might ask, why is today not just about one color, but three? The answer lies in the sky and within yourself. Because today isn't simply the end of a short cycle. It's the moment when the universe condenses three layers of transformation to see, to protect, and to release into one sacred ritual packed into the final 24 hours of preparation. Starting tomorrow, on May 25th, there will be no more time to adjust. Everything will begin to move, and if you're not ready, you won't even realize it until it's too late. Layer 1, Deep Violet. In the morning, the moon moves through Libra and forms a supportive aspect with Neptune in Pisces, opening a rare gateway to your intuition. This is when you begin to see, not with your eyes, but with a sensation deep in your chest. You might recall a person, a dream, or a truth you once denied. You may suddenly realize that the fear you've been carrying isn't even yours. It was planted in you by someone else. Deep Violet is the color of unspoken truths. It doesn't need you to do anything. It only asks that you sit still with yourself long enough for what you've rejected to return. If you can wear violet today or keep something violet close to your body, do it. And if not, simply choose to be silent for a moment, in the kind of stillness you haven't allowed yourself to enter for months. Layer 2, Silver. By midday, after you've seen what needed to be seen, that's when you become the most vulnerable. Because once you've opened the door within, the energy from the outside world can walk in too. Advice, expectations, and emotions that don't belong to you can easily slip through, pulling you back into old patterns within hours. That's why Silver steps in. In astrology, this is called the soft body phase, when Jupiter begins a subtle interaction with Mercury, signaling an upcoming restructuring of your financial reality, while also making you more susceptible to distraction. Silver is not the color of defense. It's the color of vibrational discernment. It helps you hold on to what is truly yours and return what never belonged. If someone drains your energy today, if a conversation weighs heavily on your heart, if you walk into a space and something just feels off, reach for silver. A silver object, a glint of reflection, or even a whispered reminder within. I keep what's pure. I release what is not mine. You don't need tension to protect yourself. You just need clarity to stand strong. Layer 3, Cream White. By evening, once all the energy has moved through you, you may feel empty. But that emptiness isn't loss. It's a space that's just been cleared, so something new can enter. This is when Cream White appears, not to help you do more, but to help you stop doing and start allowing. The sun is now settled in Gemini. Jupiter begins to activate the 8th house, the house of passive wealth, rebirth, and power. What you thought had ended may not be over, and what you believed wasn't meant for you might be finding its way back. But you won't see it if you're too busy, too distracted, too caught in what to do next mode. Today, choose gentleness, no goals, no checklists. Just let go of what you've been holding too tightly for too long. If you can wear something in cream white, keep it close to your body. If not, let it live in your breath, in the slowness of each movement, in the way you look at the world as if it's the first time, without naming or labeling anything at all. This is the day the sky compresses all 3 layers of transformation, to see, to hold, and to release, into a single 24-hour cycle. Because starting tomorrow, from May 25th to 31st, the energy will no longer be in preparation mode. It will move And as it begins to shift direction, so will your money. Opportunities will appear, relationships will be repositioned, but you will only be able to step into any of it if, today, you've truly aligned. So let deep violet open your vision, let silver protect what you've just uncovered, and let cream white remind you. I don't need to search. I only need to allow what was already mine to arrive. As you move past May 24th, the universe seems to whisper to you, I've given you enough signs. Now it's time for you to decide whether you truly want change, because from May 25th to 33rd, energy is no longer in preparation mode. It shifts into action, confrontation, and recalibration. Astrologically, Jupiter, your ruling planet, begins forming connections with Mercury along the financial axis and gradually moves toward a conjunction with Uranus, signaling a sudden shift in income sources, financial mindset, and even the way you define self-worth. This is the time when many Sagittarians will feel, I have an opportunity, but they may not be sure whether they have the courage to seize it. The truth is, Jupiter doesn't hand out wealth. Jupiter expands what you're already carrying. If you're holding doubt, it magnifies confusion. But if you hold grounded belief, it lights the way forward. This week, you'll come to realize money doesn't simply flow in, it mirrors the way you relate to yourself. The shift happens across the second house, representing personal income, and the eighth house, which governs shared finances, investments, and unresolved losses. This means financial dynamics in relationships that used to be unclear will begin to reveal themselves. Projects once delayed may circle back for a second chance. Debts, both literal and emotional, will demand to be addressed. Emotionally, you'll feel yourself pulled in two distinct directions. One side is a tangible longing to earn faster, more, and more sustainably. The other is an unspoken fear that feels all too real. The fear of repeating past mistakes, of making poor investments, of being betrayed, manipulated, or worse, sabotaging yourself just as you're about to succeed. These two currents don't clash outright, but they collide silently within your chest. You'll find yourself having thoughts that seem ordinary, but they are actually signs of internal misalignment. I should do this, but what if I'm wrong? This seems like a good opportunity, but is it really meant for me? What if I try again and it still doesn't work? That's when the universe stops asking you to act and starts asking, do you truly believe you're ready? And that's also when you must remember the 3 days you've just passed, the 3 colors you wore, the 3 frequencies you touched. Violet to help you see yourself clearly and name what truly matters. Silver to help you hold on to what is pure and keep it safe from outer noise. White to remind you that you no longer need to push harder. You only need to open and allow. If you align yourself properly during those 3 days, then this week you don't have to do more. You only need to respond correctly when opportunity arrives. And correct no longer means following the old plan. It means matching the frequency you've just activated. From a behavioral standpoint, this is not the week to start anything new, at least not if it still feels unclear. Every decision you make this week must come from a place of clarity, not pressure or fleeting inspiration. The universe right now isn't handing out random opportunities. It's watching, waiting to see if you are truly serious about what you declared during the past 3 days. Instead of jumping into a new plan, take time to close out the unfinished business. A contract you haven't signed, a conversation you've been putting off, a debt, financial or emotional, that you know needs to be resolved. This is the moment to put a full stop before you begin the next chapter. Write a new agreement with yourself, not long, but honest and clear. How will you earn money starting in June? Will you keep waiting for opportunities from the outside, or will you start generating value from within? Will you keep depending on luck, or are you now ready to take action rooted in awareness? This is the week to lay the foundation, not just for how you earn a living, but for how you live with integrity. And finally, identify the energy leaks that are quietly draining you. It might be a vague relationship, a habit that chips away at your self-trust, or a belief that no longer fits who you are, but you're still holding on to it. You don't have to change everything, but you do need to recognize what no longer deserves to follow you into the second half of 2025. The week of May 25th to 31st is like the moment a bow is pulled back. You might feel everything slowing down, stalling, even conflicting, but don't mistake that for resistance. In truth, it's the universe aligning the tension, so that when June begins, your financial arrow can launch in the right direction, at the right time, toward the right target. If you spend this week clearing space, preparing, and making intentional choices, you'll enter June from a completely different position. You're no longer the one waiting to see what life throws your way. You become the one who chooses the opportunity, who sends out the signal, who steps forward with clarity and intent. That position doesn't come from luck, it comes from a week that's been used wisely. But if you miss this window, if you keep acting from confusion, deciding from emotion, or delaying because you fear confrontation, you'll stay stuck in a familiar loop. You'll feel like you're doing a lot, giving it your all, and yet your results keep missing the mark. Not because you aren't good enough, but because you weren't standing in the right place when the door opened. And if you've made it this far, still wondering why everything in your life always feels almost right but never quite hits the mark, then maybe you're arriving at exactly the right moment to pause and look deeper. Have you ever asked yourself, why do I work so hard but money never seems to stay with me? Why do I feel like I have potential, ideas, passion, yet the results keep slipping through my hands in ways I can't explain? Or simply, why do others who speak less, do less, seem to attract abundance more effortlessly than I do? The answer isn't that you haven't done enough. The answer lies in your frequency, the vibration you unconsciously broadcast every time you doubt yourself, rush into action, or operate from emotion rather than alignment. If you've walked with us through the past 3 energetic days, if you've moved through each layer of color and sat quietly with yourself this week, then June won't just be the gateway to money, it will be the beginning of a new way of living. And if you want to understand clearly why your money flow hasn't aligned yet, and what exactly will unfold starting June 1st, then the next video will give you the most precise answer. No more vague motivation, but a clear roadmap of action, based on real astrology and the financial energy unique to you. Let everything you've awakened over the past 3 days not go to waste. Step through the doorway that's opening before you, and this time, don't look back. And if something in you has softened while listening, if a part of you feels clearer, calmer, or finally aligned, then leave a yes in the comments to let the universe know you're ready. And if you haven't yet, subscribe to this channel so you can stay connected to your timing, your alignment, and the opportunities that were never lost, just waiting for you to arrive.